All right, let's see what we got here. I guess we clocked in. Hey, what's going on, party people? Hope everyone is doing great. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a great pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is that I help people to attain their highest level of consciousness. And in this particular channel, I use what I call the power of words, to help you to attain your highest level of consciousness. Now, when I'm talking about the power of words, what I'm actually referring to is those quotes, proverbs, um, wise saying, it goes by many different names. But what makes this very powerful and why, to me, it is the power of words and the true meaning of power of words, because when you look at when you listen to certain quote, the quote itself reveals a level of intelligence in it. So I'm saying that to say that's why, to me, when it comes to the power of words, it is not, let's just say, the definition of a word that makes a word powerful, but it's how things are being said. And as you can see in poetry or in those quotes, they have the ability to automatically, or it's almost like they demand your fucking attention. And they do that by bypassing your conscious mind, and now they get you in a space where you become very receptive and open to what that statement has to say. So it's almost like, it's and that's what makes it powerful to me. It's almost like it's mind captivating, and then now at this point, it gives you the ability to now to learn from that statement. And in addition to that, it gives you also the wisdom without you having to go through the experience for you to understand or to get the wisdom that is being said in those statements. And to me, that's what I call the power of words. And in this channel, that's what I pretty much, not specializing in, but that's another way that I choose to help you to attain your highest level of consciousness through the power of words. And the power of words are those quotes, just like I talked about. Now, as a disclaimer, guys, just so you guys know, a lot of those quotes for me, wisdom is wisdom regardless of where it comes from. Here's another one, right? So, what this is saying to me, let's just say if a kid is telling you the truth, it doesn't make it any less truth because it comes out of a kid. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you a kid? Like, well, it's true, but get the fuck out of here. I mean, again, um, I'm saying that to say a lot of those quotes, I actually, will derive from many different sources: Christianity, Buddhism, Voodoo, Sufi. In fact, this particular one here that you see is actually from the Sufis. Um, there's wisdom is wisdom regardless of where it comes from. Now, if you're coming back, welcome back. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here. You know exactly what we do. With no further ado, let's delve right into it. Now, as you see in the title here, the wound is the place where the light enters. Man, listen, like I know for me, I had to pause on that for a second. And here's something else too. You get to see how the words act on you. I know for me, the words are always fucking me up. It acts, it makes me feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And again, and just looking at the intelligence that is behind it, but also how it 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 what's the word that I'm looking for? How it acts on you. So you literally get to see the word acting up. Like this is the word in action. And that's what I call the power of the word. But anyway, going back to that statement, it's like there are so many things that are being said here. There are so many shit that is being said here. It's like it's just a whole lot. Now, the first thing, let's take it step by step. Now, the wounds is where the light enters. Now, when we're talking about the light here, we're talking about intelligence, we're talking about understanding, we're talking about growth. It's through your pain that you get to grow. And as you can see in life experiences, I mean, it's another way of saying we grow in life through our experiences. And those experiences, it could be painful, could be hurtful, but ultimately, that's where the light comes in. So, what this is saying here, and here's something else too. So, obviously, this is the most obvious one, right? I mean, that is what the statement is. Now, let's delve a little more into it, to to trying to attain or understand, the subliminal shit that is also being said here too. Because the one thing that's also being said is that if the light enters, you know, through your wound, so should we invite more pain into our lives? Or what would be our, let's just say, um, intention, or not necessarily intention, what would be our approach to pain now? Or what should be our approach to pain? See, this statement is also inviting you to adopt a Godhead mentality. It's also allowing you to see things from a life perspective. And what I call a Godhead mentality is seeing it from a God perspective. Now, it allows you to start looking at life from a whole different perspective. So, what people will call bad, now for you, when you understand the light enters through your wound, then you start looking at your wound differently. And here's something else that's also being said, because there's so many shit that's being said here. It's actually, that's what it means to transmute your pain. That's what transmutation is, in so many words. It's you now understanding the light that comes out of it. So therefore, it gives you a whole new approach to the way that you're looking at your pain. It's almost like it's the same effect when you actually go to the gym. You're looking for more pain. You're looking to lift heavy, you know what I'm saying, knowing that, you may not have the strength for it. But at the same time, you're getting more stronger, more muscular. It's like there's a direct relationship with the pain and your growth. So if you understand that alone, it gives you a whole different outlook on how you should be looking at your reality. And now that's what I mean. Now you have adopted a Godhead mentality. Now you're seeing life through God lenses. That's why you'll know, or anybody who if you in God, you know, when it comes to your growth doesn't mean there's no pain. In fact, if you're looking to grow, you better be open to pain. So, I mean, that could be something you probably already heard before, but when you really take the time and let it process and let that become your perspective in life, then now at this point you have a Godhead mentality. Now you are automatically transmuting anything that may appear to be bad into something good. As they say, to the pure, all is pure. Adopting that mentality is you now somewhat turn. I mean, you. Oh man! Again, there's so much that's being said, but it's you now at this point. You know, developing your inner vision and transmuting what people may call bad into something good. And that's what we see. Let's just say, I can't recall, well, who was it? Was it Ford? Well, the guy that talks about, yeah, the guy who actually the light bulb guy, right? So he was saying pretty much how he didn't fail, and that to make that kind of statement, it comes with a state of mind. It's you understanding the reason why we all fall. It's not for you to stay on the floor. We all fall so we know how to get up. And having that type of mentality, it's truly transmuting your whole life. This is you learning how to become patient with your pain, and this is also you having that type of understanding, going through whatever the fuck you're going through, but you may not see the lesson in it. But you know what? For the most part, once you already adopt that state of mind, 90% of the time, I mean, or along the way, you'll get, even if you don't get the full picture, on the positive outcome, but it allows you to be like, okay, I mean, you're all learning. I mean, you may not see what the big picture is, but so far, I mean, that's why we need conflict into our life. And here's something else too. That statement is also showing you how you have to embrace paradoxes. You must embrace the opposite in life. You need good just like you need bad. They're not against one another. They are two sides of the same coin. So again, it's like, I mean, I just don't know which way to go first. Again, like we talked about so many different things already on just out of that statement. Because technically, when you understand that the lights goes through your wounds, automatically it gives you a different understanding or a different approach on how you should even look at your pain. And that different approach, that's exactly what it means when we say you have the power to transmute your pain. The Buddhists talked about, pain is unavoidable, but suffering is different. Because your suffering now is the meaning or the misunderstanding that you are, let's just say, applying to your pain. Your suffering now becomes you, the lack of understanding that you got out of that pain. But if you get the lesson, I mean, how bad is it? In fact, it gave you something that you didn't have. Do you see what I'm saying here? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, once you start looking at life from that perspective, even your definition of what is good, what is bad, becomes totally different. Oh, that is a fully loaded statement because it goes beyond what is being said here. There are so many other stuff that it implies also. And again, going back to the whole adaptation of a Godhead mentality, that's what it's like, and that's what it is to see things from God perspective. Because in life, what we're gonna go through is those lessons, is those pain that you have to live with. There's no other way, man. You know And here's what a lot of people too, and there's a misconception, especially when we're talking about, you following God or you being a spiritual person. I mean, there is a misconception of, I mean, let's just say, I mean, you are in Candyland. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you are, but it's not what it appears to be. And here's something else too. When you understand that, now it's giving you a different, not just a different approach when it comes to pain, but also the ability to transmute your pain, your own pain. It's you now having the ability to look beyond the veil. Then it gives you a broader perspective, even when you're looking at this reality. Then you start looking at it from a different perspective. You know, just like I like to tell people, it allows you now to look at it from a dot perspective, just like you saw in the Matrix, instead of just looking at what you call the, this reality for face value. Because ultimately, it's not just the wound that you have to look at this way, but it's going to be everything else. And that's how powerful the statement is, because when you fully grasp it, then you realize it doesn't just stay there. I mean it's just life in general. It's everything that you encounter. It's to have a positive outlook on negativity, and that's how you transmute negativity. So the whole idea, especially as a spiritual being, it's not to, let's just say, I know a lot of people, I mean, we don't like, we just don't like pain. You know, but you got to buckle up, baby, like, because, hey, listen, man, you're gonna have to carry your own cross. You see what I'm saying? And that's why those quotes comes very handy, because now you don't necessarily have to go through that experience for you to actually retain the knowledge. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm pretty much sure all of you actually went through pain, but our interpretation of it, it's what either, I mean, get us stuck, or that's what's gonna set you free. Most of us, when it comes to our wound, to our pain, we tend to closed off after we got, a burnt, or, what I'm saying. In fact, in Haiti, we do have this saying. We say, when a cat falls into a pot of hot water, the next time that same cat sees water, you're just gonna stay away from it. But the problem with that is, listen, there's hot water, there's cold water, there's in between water. Like, the key thing here is not to become closed off, but it's to understand those different, you know, um, I guess, element of water, I guess, or those different state of mind that a water could be in. It could be cold. It could be in the form of ice. Do you see what I'm saying? So being open to your wounds, but most importantly, and understanding the light is coming through there. It's already allowing you to attain a highest level of consciousness. So now you're already looking at, what would be painful to other people as being beneficial to you. And when you genuinely understand that, listen, it's like now you're seeing life through a Godhead mentality. I'm gonna live it here. Again, we're not gonna, spend too much time on that one. But most importantly, I wanted to come on and share this with you guys. And, but most importantly, for you to understand the power of words. But in addition to it, listen, I strongly recommend, that I would strongly recommend, like, for, that people are highly invested into those quotes. because again, they allow you, to enhance your consciousness. And when it comes to, and that's your purpose. Your life is based. I mean, we are a living mind, and we're just gonna live it there. Aishin, Mali.